Good afternoon. In a spirit of respect for one another and for the diversity of religious traditions that we come from, let us pray. Loving and faithful God, we welcome your presence with us today. We thank you for bringing us here, for leading us to this point in our lives. Today, as we celebrate the dedication, hard work, and many accomplishments of these graduates and of this institution, show us where we need to go from here. Lead us on, Lord. Lead us to the oppressed, to the marginalized, to the exploited. Lead us to the outcast and to the humble. For it is with those who suffer and struggle that we will find you. As we celebrate this convocation ceremony today, Lord, grant us renewed hope, courage, and energy to seek you. And we ask this in the name of our brother, Jesus. Amen.
Honorable Chancellor, Leader of the Official Opposition, honorary degree recipients, distinguished colleagues, board members, graduates, distinguished guests, family, and friends, welcome to Mount St. Vincent University, and welcome to our Fall 1993 Convocation. I am particularly delighted to welcome representatives from our sister universities who are here with us on stage today. Dr. Keith Sullivan, Director of Dalhousie School of Education, and Dr. Jamie Muir, Principal of Nova Scotia Teachers College, represent the joint degree programs and the very real partnerships between our distinctive universities. It is this cooperation and a focus on excellence that make Nova Scotia universities unique and home to Canada's very best undergraduate and graduate universities. This is because we have, for the most part, concentrated on those things which each of us does best, and because we have sought ways to cooperate in order to offer our students the highest possible quality of education. In academic spheres, we at the Mount advocate and practice inter-university cooperation and partnership. Through NovaNet, our computerized library catalog system, our students and faculty have ready access to the combined library resources of our 8 member universities. Through Inter-University Services, Inc., or ISI, our 12 member institutions are able to save in excess of $3 million annually by pooling the purchase of goods and services, including employee benefits. Some of you who are graduating today have completed your degrees in joint programs with our sister universities. The Mount is currently involved as a partner in over 20 cooperative or joint academic programs and agreements. For example, joint programs with Dalhousie, with the Technical University of Nova Scotia, St. Mary's, and the Nova Scotia Teachers College. The Mount has always been a strong advocate of collaboration and cooperation, and we would like to think that we continue to lead the way in this area. We are extremely proud of you, our graduates, and that you have been able to take advantage of the best that the Mount offers while also having access to the complementary resources of our sister institutions. In considering my message to you today, I thought about where we were headed as an institution and as a regional and provincial system of universities. You may know that in addition to being president of the Mount, I wear several other hats, including that of vice chair of the Atlantic Association of Universities and chair of the Council of Nova Scotia University Presidents. These are not responsibilities to be taken lightly in today's environment, when universities are pressured from all sides to respond with shrinking resources to the needs of our students, our faculty, our alumni, our community, business, and to society. I was in the middle of pondering my message to you when the phone rang. It was the assistant editor of Mclean's magazine, Victor Dwyer, who was working on the magazine's universities edition. He wanted my thoughts on the major changes facing Canadian universities. I would like to share some of these thoughts with you, our graduating class, and with our special guests. Mr. Dwyer pinpointed the tremendous challenge facing Canadian universities today to develop Canada's human resources for tomorrow's knowledge-based society while struggling to cope with the continued erosion of public funding. He asked whether I, as a university president, sometimes found this challenging frustrating. I had to admit that yes, I sometimes do. Universities, like many other sectors of Canadian society today, face enormous financial pressures. While enrollment continues to grow and costs escalate, funding to universities has dwindled, first in relative and now in absolute terms. In response, universities have become far more efficient and effective through reorganization and new approaches to higher education. I have already mentioned the Mount's partnerships with other universities through Novanet, inter-university services, and joint academic programming. We have also made expenditure cuts to administrative support and ancillary services in order to preserve the integrity and quality of our academic programs. And we continue to explore alternative sources of additional revenue. Increasing financial pressures have also translated into escalating tuition fees, something we deeply regret and have tried to control as much as possible. But financial pressures are not the only pressures, the only challenges facing universities today. Universities are currently under the microscope, or more aptly, under the gun. Universities are accused of being too rigid and unresponsive. At the same time, of being too flexible in our standards and programs, of being change-resistant, mired in traditional academia, yet of being too liberal, of placing too much emphasis on research at the expense of teaching, yet of not conducting enough research, and most importantly, of failing to recognize students as their first and overriding priority. Universities are criticized for not being relevant, which in many cases translates to offering programs that do not train people for real jobs. At the same time, universities are accused of abandoning their traditional emphasis on liberal arts and science in favor of career-oriented programs. Certainly, universities must expect and accept criticism. Universities are public institutions, and as such, they must be accountable to the public, whose trust they must now regain. Public scrutiny is a good and a healthy thing, because it forces universities to examine closely what they do, how they do it, and whether they can find a better way to do it. It is essential that universities are accountable in their use of public funds. Our universities must be, and be seen to be, efficient and effective in what they do and how they do it. And they must communicate that to business, government, and the general public in a way that is understood and appreciated. Universities must be transparent, collaborative, and innovative. They must be flexible and creative. They must continue to develop and grow if we are to remain relevant. At the same time, our university is expected to be intellectual leaders in Canadian society, to protect and advance knowledge and learning, to be solidly grounded in their individual unique missions, in order to keep sight of what they are really all about. In today's difficult environment, fiscal environment, universities must concentrate their resources, increasingly in those areas which give them their real value and distinctiveness. As an educational administrator, I see my role not to incite revolution, but to lead in making some of the very difficult choices in today's environment that will result in significant change in order to protect the academy and build on our strengths. As one entrusted with leading the university, I am repeatedly forced to come back to basics. In Mount St. Vincent's case, we are and we must remain an undergraduate university dedicated to academic excellence through the pursuit of knowledge and truth. Our mission is to educate, not just train, our students, and to instill in them a love of learning, the love of knowledge, along with the critical tools and abilities that will last a lifetime. Mount St. Vincent is Canada's only university dedicated primarily, though not exclusively, to the education of women. Part of this mission requires that we must remain active and visible in the local community, as well as nationally, particularly on issues of concern to women. We are also dedicated to providing a strong liberal arts and science core and selected professional programs in an academically excellent and personalized educational environment. Our faculty and staff continually strive to achieve academic excellence. Here I wish to recognize and applaud Dr. Sue McGregor and Dr. Kim Travers from our Human Ecology Department, both of whom have recently completed their PhDs. Our graduates today also include some of our own staff. Diane Morris, our beloved registrar, receives her Master's of Arts in Education at this convocation, while Daphne Lordley, our Cooperative Education Coordinator in Human Ecology, graduates with her Master's of Arts in Human Ecology. We also have a husband and a wife graduating today. Rosemary and Tom Hedderson from Newfoundland are both receiving their Master of Education degrees. As you can see, those of you graduating today have benefited not only from an academically superior education, but from being part of a real community. Here at the Mount, you have had access to small classes and to professors who know you, who care about you, and who will continue to do so. In a very real sense, you will always have a home at the Mount. The Mount must continue to provide leadership through many unique academic programs, through distance and cooperative education, and through a great many other initiatives. And we will continue to do things differently, in our tradition of being non-traditional. As one of my predecessors at the Mount so aptly put it, I guess if we're not being controversial, we're not doing our job. This is a tall order for any institution, but we are succeeding. Mount St. Vincent enjoys an excellent reputation nationally and beyond. To return to Mclean's, their last university's issue named as most innovative undergraduate university in Canada, based on a national reputational survey of universities, corporations, and businesses. But ultimately, our success is measured by you, our graduates. And I'm proud to say that Mount graduates are highly regarded by employers, by the universities where you continue to study, and by the communities in which you live. To me, this is vivid proof that we are on the right track. Graduates, you are here today because you have been and will remain active participants in the learning process. You have cared about your education, worked hard, and achieved all that was asked of you and more. In this, we salute you. You have earned and benefited from a superior education. You have instinctively known that education is more than a right. It is a privilege. And you are now among those privileged Canadians who have the knowledge and skills to take Canada into the 21st century. Go forth to whatever challenge awaits you now and in the future. You are the future, the bright hope of this country. Today, as many of you ponder your next move in this difficult economic climate, the immediate future may seem more pressing. Perhaps foremost on your mind is not what ultimate contribution you will make to your field and to society, but whether you will find a job in your chosen field. You will encounter many challenges along the way to success. Some of these challenges may seem more like roadblocks at the time, but you will find ways to overcome them. You will succeed, and in the process, you will make a contribution and a difference. You have our full support, encouragement, and firm belief in your abilities to be leaders in Canadian society. We will be here when you need us, and we hope you will be there when the university, the region, and the nation need you. To each of today's graduates, I offer our congratulations, best wishes, and good luck.
Madam Chancellor, distinguished guests, faculty, friends, and fellow graduates. There are many people I could thank for making this graduation day possible. Family, faculty, and administrators. But most of all, as an undergraduate at the Mount, I valued what you, as a class, bestowed on me and on our fellow graduates. It's my experience with you as a group with heart, and a group with personality, that gives me the confidence to speak to you today about the following elements of your influence: your help in providing insight on life at this school, your vision in enabling us to see what lies beyond these walls, and your ability to mirror something about all our lives. There was such a significant niche here for us as we scale this mountain. Not only is it difficult to climb this mount physically, but also, especially in first year, it's a long way from one assignment to the next, and similarly from year to another. Our class has been at the base of the mountain, but we have moved upwards, offering help to those still climbing. Let's go back to September 1989, when I was a frightened first-year student who did not possess a clue about university life. I was vexed, and I needed somebody who could give me some answers. Luckily, someone was there. Two of my fellow graduates approached me on separate occasions and explained a few things. First, they told me all about registration, then what the concept of a faculty was, and finally, what professors to avoid during my time here. I'm still indebted to them for that. These two colleagues helped make me part of this university, as many of you have over my 4 years here. We've all had our problems, and we've overcome many things. Now we are trained in arts, science, public relations, and human ecology. Like trees on the side of the Mount's Hill, we have shared the sunshine and grown together, each in our own unique way. I've learned many things from this class. Thank you all for that. Moving a little further up the mountain, we came to a point where we knew almost everything about the Mount. We were able to concentrate on others, much like our professors did. Fortunately for my peers and me, professors and administrators had the foresight to see what lay beyond these walls and were generous enough to share their view. We were told how a certain course or project would enable us to do well in our first jobs. We were taught how to gradually move away from one frame of mind and to enter into another. By working together and communicating, professors and administrators enabled us to see many things we may have missed. As a class, We should be very relieved yet exhilarated today. The next mountain is not a long way off, but as graduates, we're already fit to climb it, however difficult it may be in our modern society. When we look at budget cuts, high unemployment, and various types of discrimination, try to remember, as Marie Curie suggested, nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Many of us are counting on you, the class of 1993, to blaze that trail. Wasn't it a Mount grad who became a governor on the board of this university? Isn't it a Mount grad who became director of public relations at Isaac Walton Killam Hospital? Might not a Mount grad discover the cure for a disease like AIDS? Why not? We're used to climbing difficult mountains here. You have shown that it can be done. Thank you all for that. Now let's move to your position at the top of the mountain. To start off, how else would undergraduates learn about strength and diligence if they didn't watch you? When deadlines were tight and assignments were due, you were either ready to hand them in or you were haggling for that extra day. Like you, I realized that I had to use what I possessed the best way I could. We learned to keep going and to persevere. When faced with a bad mark or a person with a disagreeable attitude, it might have been easier to quit than to go on, but we kept going. It has to do with our inner strength. As Leo Buscaglia states, being ourselves in a world where everyone wants to remake us will be our greatest challenge. The disapproval of others is a powerful deterrent, but hardly a strong enough reason to be less than who we truly are. If we want to be happy, sooner or later, we have to assert our right to be accepted as ourselves. I can't think of a more basic human right. People can succeed. You are my evidence. Thank you all for that. As we step over the peak of this mountain today, we have every right to be exultant. But remember, we're not the only winners. When you leave this institution, you will leave behind a legacy, just as we have received one from those who have gone before us. And as we ascend other mountains, we will look back at this mount and see professors and administrators who can be fairly satisfied with a job well done. And we will see students of Mount St. Vincent University outfitted with the hope and knowledge that they can realize their dreams, or at least their short-term goals. And as we look outside, we can see a community that is going to benefit from what we have to offer. Perhaps the things like discrimination can be overcome with our help. As we contemplate what we've learned and how friends, family, and professors have contributed to our studies, remember, in Emerson's words, though we travel the world over to find the beautiful, we must carry it with us or we find it not. Many people have made this day possible and beautiful. Thank you all so very much for that.
Would you please notice in your programs that we would like you to hold your applause until the end of each degree. Madam Vice Chancellor and President, it is my privilege to present to you the candidates for the Collegiate Honors of Graduation. I attest that they have successfully completed the required courses of study, and I ask that Eileen Kelly be awarded the certificate in business. D. Leanne Siddle, certificate in business.
Madam Chancellor, it is my privilege to present to you the candidates for the Collegiate Honors of Graduation. I attest that they have successfully completed the required courses of study, and I ask that they be admitted to the baccalaureate degree. Mount St. Vincent confers the degree of Bachelor of Arts on Carol Ann Anderson.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations, Carol Ann.
Linda Elizabeth Brand.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations. Thank you.
Deborah E. Brown.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations, Deborah.
Christina Tuck Wei Chow.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations, Christina.
Gregory Uloth.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations, Greg.
Susan Gallant.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations.
Deanna Lynn Harms.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations.
Judith Logan.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations, Judith.
Deborah Ann McDonald.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations, Deborah.
Tracy Lynn McDonald.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations.
Gail Marie Mclean.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations, Gail.
Helen Milden with distinction and highest aggregate.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations.
Leah Elizabeth Murphy.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations.
Sarah Jane Napier.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations, Sarah.
Margaret Elizabeth Phillips.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations.
Kelly Reed.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations, Kelly.
Judith Lynn Weiss.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Congratulations, Judith.
Madam Chancellor, Mount St. Vincent University confers the degree of Bachelor of Arts Honors on Kikalomo Oladayo Bello, BA Honors in Women's Studies.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Arts Honors with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Regina Thea Maaswai.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts Honors. Congratulations.
Madam Chancellor, Mount St. Vincent University confers the degree of Bachelor of Science on Jonathan Paul Mosher.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Nicole Ann Mousseau.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Science. Congratulations, Nicole.
Megan Schaffner Poole.
I confer of Science. Congratulations, Megan.
Kimberly Russell Burke.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Science. Congratulations, Kimberly.
The Bachelor of Business Administration on Lisa Kathleen Anderson.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Kathy Lynn Ann Arsenault, Cooperative Education Option.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration with all the rights and privileges.
Melissa Ann Atkinson, Cooperative Education Option.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Congratulations.
Pamela Barkhouse.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Congratulations.
Rhonda Lee Bayers, Cooperative Education Option.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Congratulations, Rhonda.
Edward Blaine Burke with distinction.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Congratulations. Thank you.
Susan Cousins.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Congratulations, Susan.
Shelley Lee Ann Fraser.
I confer upon you the degree of Business Administration. Congratulations, Sherry.
Jeffrey Eric Little, Cooperative Education Option.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Congratulations.
Nancy McNeil.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Congratulations, Sherry.
Janice Irene Mclean with distinction and highest aggregate Cooperative Education Option.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Congratulations, Sherry.
James Linwood Mersey, Cooperative Education Option.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Congratulations.
Marlinda Irene Mooney.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Congratulations.
Robert James Nickel with distinction.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Congratulations, Robert.
Shelley Ruth Vaders with distinction and Cooperative Education Option.
I confer upon you the degree of Business Administration. Congratulations.
The Bachelor of Child Study on Kristen Lee Bishop.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Child Study with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Lori Claudine McKay.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Child Study. Congratulations.
Susan Michelle O'Neill.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Child Study. Congratulations.
The Bachelor of Human Ecology on Margaret Ann Bonar.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Human Ecology with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Sandra Joyce Mitchell with distinction.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Human Ecology. Congratulations, Susan.
Mary Helene Morash.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Human Ecology. Congratulations, Helen.
The Bachelor of Science and Human Ecology on Bonnie G. Chesson.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science of Human Ecology with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations, Mary.
The Bachelor Bachelor of Office Administration on Alobo Leslie Allwatch.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Office Administration with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
The Bachelor of Public Relations on Nelson Leslie Angel.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations with all the privileges and rights pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Kristen Jane Brule.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations, Kristen.
Valerie Dahl.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations.
Carolyn DeBee, Cooperative Education Option.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations, Carolyn.
Margot Dawn Plewelling.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations, Carolyn.
Julie Gala, Cooperative Education Option.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations, Julie.
Tamara Kim Gates, Cooperative Education Option.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations, Tamara.
Sherry Elizabeth Gillis, with distinction and Cooperative Education Option.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations, Sherry.
Stacia Allison Hatherley.
I admit you to the Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations, Stacey.
Andrea Rupsha.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations.
Audrey Christine Norman.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations, Audrey.
Adele Marie Poirier, Cooperative Education Option and French Concentration Option.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations, Adele.
Rochelle Wilcox.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations, Rochelle.
Rochelle Lynn Williams.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations, Rochelle.
Jody Lee Woolham.
I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations. Congratulations, Jody.
The Bachelor of Tourism and Hospitality Management on Laureen Catherine Fahy, Practica route.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Tourism and Hospitality Management with all the privileges and rights pertaining thereto. Congratulations, Maria.
I invite Dr. Jamie Muir, Principal of the Teachers College, to congratulate these two students as we confer the degree, and you don't want to defer it, I don't think. Betty Ann McNeish.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Education in association with the Nova Scotia Teachers College with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Charlene Marie Power.
I admit you to the degree of Education Association with the Nova Scotia Association of Teachers Education. Sorry about that.
Madam Chancellor, it is my privilege to present these students for the Collegiate Honors of Graduation. I attest that they have successfully completed the required courses of studies, and I ask that they be admitted to the master's degree. Mount St. Vincent University confers the degree of Master of Education on Peter George Balcom, Master Education.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Master of Education with all of the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations, Peter. Thank you.
José Benoit Haidar.
I confer upon you the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Mary Elizabeth Brideau Clark.
I admit you to the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations, Mary Elizabeth.
John Joseph Carter.
I confer upon you the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations, John.
Kevin John Cribby.
I confer upon you the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations, Kevin.
Wendell Joseph Dion.
I confer upon you the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations, Wendell.
Gregory Paul Golden.
I confer upon you the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations, Gregory.
Rosemary Hedderson.
I confer upon you the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations, Rose.
Thomas J. Hedderson.
I confer upon you the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Stella Maria Johnson.
I confer upon you the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations, Stella.
Marie Deanne McDonald.
I confer upon you the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Mary Merrick.
I confer upon you the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
And now she has to revert roles. Deanne Archambault Morris. Diane.
Yes. It's a pleasure to confer upon you the degree of Master of Education with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations, Diane.
Pamela Darlene Nicholson Como.
I confer upon you the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations, Peter.
Gerald Wayne Parker.
I confer upon you the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations, Gerald.
Darlene Ann Power.
I confer upon you the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations, Diane.
Ronald Anthony Sampson.
I confer upon you the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations.
Elizabeth Ann Tobin.
I confer upon you the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations, Elizabeth Ann.
Brenda Ann Waterman.
I confer upon you the degree of Master of Education. Congratulations, Brenda.
The degree of Master of Arts in Education on Imelda Verdencia Charles.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Master of Arts in Education with all of the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Angela Carmen Jones.
I admit you to the degree of Master of Arts in Education. Congratulations.
Martin Ac Mcdonald.
I admit you to the degree of Master of Arts in Education. Congratulations, Martin.
Daphne Jean Lordley. This is Masters of Arts in Human Ecology now.
This is now. Now?
Now,
Okay.
I messed up there.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Masters of Human Ecology with all of the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations, Daphne.
Martine Pajot.
I confer upon you the degree of Master of Human Ecology. Congratulations.
the degree of Master of Arts in School Psychology on Crystal Deanna England.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you to the degree of Master of Arts in School Psychology with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Deborah Ann Farrell.
I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts in School Psychology. Congratulations, Debbie.
Gerald Han.
I admit you to the degree of Master of Arts in School Psychology. Congratulations.
Lois Landry.
I admit you to the degree of Master of Arts in School Psychology. Congratulations, Mayor.
Lisa Marie Mazarol.
I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts in School Psychology. Congratulations, Lisa.
Janet Lauren Perry.
I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts in School Psychology. Congratulations.
Dawn Nadine Pritchard.
I admit you to the degree of Master of Arts in School Psychology. Congratulations.
Madam Chancellor, in addition, we confer the appropriate certificates, diplomas, degrees on all those not present today whose names are listed in the program.
And I confer degrees in absentia on those persons so designated by the Dean.
Now, your program lists Gaudeamus, which you will find right on the next page, and we've been all caught up in baseball mania, at least I have, and we need a little seventh inning stretch here. So we're all going to stand up, and we're going to ask Patricia Murphy to lead us in Gaudeamus.
We have them, yes we do.
Gaudeamus igitur, juvenes blum sumus. Gaudeamus igitur, juvenes blum sumus. Post jucundam juventutem, post molestam senectutem, nos abebit iumus.
Be seated. The program now lists the conferring of prizes. First will be the Senate Medals of Distinction. These engraved pewter medals, awarded by the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, are given in recognition of superior academic achievement to each student who graduates with distinction and with highest aggregate in undergraduate diploma and degree programs. The master's medals, however, are awarded upon recommendation of each department. This year's recipients are Helen Milden, Bachelor of Arts with distinction and highest aggregate. Janice I. Mclean, Bachelor of Business Administration with distinction and highest aggregate and cooperative education option. Sandra Joyce Mitchell, Bachelor of Human Ecology with distinction. Sherry Elizabeth Gillis, Bachelor of Public Relation with distinction and cooperative education option. And the Master's Medals. The first is offered to Angela Carmen Jones, Master of Arts in Education in Educational Psychology and Measurement. Angela, I believe, is a native of Enfield, but she's somewhere in between moves from British Columbia to Alberta, has just completed her Master's of Arts in Educational Psychology and, go up there, and Measurement. Through interactive focus groups, Angela explored high school students' perceptions of their guidance counseling needs. This thesis work exemplifies Angela's devotion to the needs of children and youth, an interest she has also pursued both through volunteer work and paid employment. She exhibits the traits of a scholar and valued professional, sensitivity to others, perceptiveness, intuition, persistent hard work, the willingness to take risks, and a love of learning. Martin Ac Mcdonald, Master of Arts in Education in Literacy Education. Martin is from Antigonish and has completed his Master's of Arts degree in Research in Literacy Education. He is selected because of his outstanding academic work and thesis in the area of personal narrative. Martin continues to work as an elementary school principal in Antigonish County at St. Andrews Consolidated School in St. Andrews. Janet Perry, Senate Medal, Masters of Arts in School Psychology. Janet is from Surrey, PEI, and she has returned to the school board in Surrey, where she was teaching prior to coming to the school psychology program. Janet is selected for this medal not only for her scholarly work, but also for her ability to integrate her theoretical learning with practice in psychology in the schools. She was also highly recommended by her practicum supervisors. I have been told she exudes confidence and delivers big time. Another master's medal, this one is in the master's program in human ecology, is granted in absentia to Suzanne Maria Piscopo. Suzanne was a Commonwealth scholar who came to us from Malta, and she did her Master's of Arts Research in Nutrition Education. Before she came here, she had just recently been married, so she was rather eager to join her husband in the Netherlands, and so she left before graduation. And also we award in, I believe in absentia, on Dawn Ann McLean, a business diploma with distinction and highest aggregate. President's Prizes. These special awards are donated by the university president to members of the graduation class who have given evidence of best fulfilling the university ideals, sacrifice, all-around cooperation, and promise of continued loyalty to the alma mater. There are two of them here today. The first is awarded to Helen Milden, Bachelor of Arts. Helen graduated with her BA in English with highest average among those receiving the BA today. We commend her for her steadfastness. She started her BA in 1978 and had some interruptions along the way. Among those interruptions, at least to her schooling, were 2 children. And she worked full-time as a secretary to the Colchester East Hants School Board in Brookfield. She's a native, I think, of Upper Stewiacke, and presently she is working full-time on her BEd in secondary education at St. Mary's. The second is awarded to Janice Mclean, Bachelor of Business Administration. Like Helen, she had the highest average in her degree. I think it came out to something like 87%. She chose the cooperative education option in co-op, which requires the student to apply what one has learned in the classroom in the workplace. Janice received excellent co-op work term evaluations on her 2 work terms with Revenue Canada and 1 with Plastics Maritime. Janice is a registered nurse who chose to change to a new career, accounting. She consistently maintained Dean's List standing in her full-time studies while working 20 hours a week. She presently works for Coca-Cola, and we wish her well in receiving her professional accounting accreditation. Kappa Gamma Pi. Membership in Kappa Gamma Pi, Honor Society of Catholic Universities for Women, is awarded to graduates who, in addition to high scholastic standings and a good record in extracurricular activities, give promise of academic leadership in the future. The first one, an undergraduate award, is awarded to Sherry Elizabeth Giltz, Bachelor of Public Relations. Sherry entered the Mount in 1989 as a presidential scholar from Surrey PEI. This award is our highest award to an entrant, and she was the first Bachelor of Public Relations student to hold the award. Her promise has brought forward good fruit, we must say. She quickly established herself as a superior academic student and graduated with highest aggregate in the BPR degree today. Not only was she an excellent student, she was also an involved student. Sherry also was a co-op student, doing 4 instead of the usual 3 placements. She had placements with Energy Mines and Resources in Halifax, ACOA in PEI, the Art Gallery of Nova Scotia, and Maritime Electric in PEI. Sherry proved that academic achievement goes hand in hand with performance on the job, and Sherry is presently enrolled in the University of New Brunswick's Law School, and as you know, she was the class valedictorian. And the graduate award goes to Deborah Farrell, Masters of Arts in School Psychology. Deborah is from Antigonish. I think there's something about Antigonish and Surrey PEI in these thing today, and presently works for the Naomi Society in Antigonish. Now, the Naomi Society is a service for women and children whose families have experienced violence. Deborah was a leader in the school psychology group, a very organized worker. She did extremely well on practicum and has been highly recommended by her supervisors. Her thesis dealt with how children handle the death of a parent and her sensitivity in that area will be a real asset in any job she has. I have been told she is recognized by her fellow students as what a psychologist should be: empathetic, hardworking, and down to earth.
Madam Chancellor, it is a pleasure for me to present to you Doreen Lewis for the award of the degree Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa at this fall convocation of Mount St. Vincent University. Doreen Lewis has had a varied and rich career in healthcare education, business, politics, municipal government, administration, and as an artist. Born in Annapolis Royal, her roots go back to the Black Loyalists who settled in Annapolis Royal and other southern regions of Nova Scotia in the 1780s. Her ancestor, Rose Fortune, who first came to Annapolis Royal in 1783, started a transport business with a wheelbarrow and was Canada's first policewoman. Later generations helped develop the transport business into a trucking firm. Upon graduation from high school, Ms. Lewis entered the nursing program at Halifax Children's Hospital. She began her career in healthcare as a general duty and operating room nurse in Annapolis General Hospital. She gained wide experience as a nurse and a nursing instructor in both Nova Scotia and Ontario. Her next career was as an artist and a business owner. Studio Wee Fan provided Ms. Lewis with an opportunity to carry on her family tradition as a weaver, as well as enabled her to exercise her artistic talents in designing hand-woven items. She successfully operated this business for 13 years and provided employment to members of the community. Her artistic talents are widely recognized in the Atlantic provinces, Quebec, and Ontario. In 1989, Doreen Lewis became involved in the home care program for the Valley region and now serves as the regional coordinator of the Coordinated Home Care Program for the Valley. Throughout her life, she has shared her wisdom and her talents unselfishly. She has epitomized loyalty, honesty, dedication, and excellence in all of her undertakings. While pursuing her various careers, Doreen Lewis has demonstrated her concern for and commitment to the community by her active involvement in all aspects of community life. She was elected councillor for the town of Annapolis Royal in 1979 and devoted many years to serving the people of this municipality. In 1984, she was elected mayor of Annapolis Royal, becoming Canada's first Black female to hold such a position. When she ran for mayor, Ms. Lewis said, "My mother simply left town because she didn't want to be embarrassed. She went to Toronto for a couple of weeks because she thought I was really going to cave the roof in on our heads." However, Doreen Lewis served successfully as mayor for 4 years and brought vigor and vitality to the position that helped pave the way for women in politics. She is a wonderful role model for all women. Her involvement with and commitment to the provincial community are demonstrated by her participation in the Executive Union of Nova Scotia Municipalities and her appointment in 1991 to the Premier's Monitoring Committee for the Implementation of Economic Strategy. Ms. Lewis's accomplishments have not been confined to her years in government. Her recognized talent, ability, and social awareness brought many opportunities and invitations that placed great demands upon her time. She has made a valuable contribution to the numerous boards she serves on, and to mention a few, the Gerontology Association of Nova Scotia, the Black Cultural Society of Nova Scotia, the Valley Regional Hospital Foundation Board, and the Board of Governors for Nova Scotia College of Art and Design. Ms. Lewis is also currently serving as the chair of the Nova Scotia Fundraising Committee for the James Robinson Johnson Chair in Black Canadian Studies at Dalhousie University. She continues to be active in many cultural and community organizations in the province. Doreen Lewis is described by her colleagues and friends as a wonderful woman with excellent judgment, a terrific sense of humor, sense of proportion, sense of commitment, is warm, and is both engaged and engaging. Madam Chancellor, it is very fitting for Mount St. Vincent University to honor Doreen Lewis today. She is an exceptional, non-traditional woman and very much typifies the Mount's values and positive, facilitative, and adaptable approach to life. Therefore, I ask you, Madam Chancellor, in the name of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, to confer on Doreen Lewis the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you, Doreen Lewis, to the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters and honoris causa, with all of the rights and privileges pertaining thereto.
Madam Chancellor, it is an honor to present to you Perleen Oliver for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters. Dr. Perleen Oliver is a human rights leader, an author and an activist, a woman who has dedicated over 50 years to serving the Baptist Church and the community of Nova Scotia. The young Perleen was the first woman of color to graduate from high school in this province. No mean feat. Since then, she has worked side by side with other Black reformers, including her late husband, the Reverend Oliver, in the cause of equality and self-worth. Her volunteer community work tells a striking story during the 1940s. She became a founding member of the Nova Scotia Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Because of her tireless advocacy, 2 young Black women graduated from the Children's Hospital of Halifax with nursing degrees in 1948, thus ending the exclusion of Black women from the nursing profession in Canada. She campaigned to remove textbooks in the schools whose content included demeaning stories and racial slurs. In the early 50s, her support of a sit-down protest at a segregated New Glasgow theater contributed to the eventual desegregation of that theater and others in the Maritimes. We also see that Dr. Oliver contributed other firsts to the Baptist Church. As official supervisor of the young people's work of the African Baptist Association of Nova Scotia, she was responsible for the beginning of their highly successful scholarship award program. She was elected the first woman moderator of this association. She was an active member of the first council of the Black United Front of Nova Scotia. In 1985, she had collected and presented to the Black Cultural Society documents, pictures, and other artifacts spanning over 200 years of history of the Black Church in Nova Scotia. More recently, she has been elected to the Nova Scotia Ebony Wall of Fame, has received the first Woman of the Year award by the YWCA and received an honorary Doctor of Letters degree from St. Mary's. Amid these achievements, however, are her daily commitments, achievements of a different kind. Her ongoing care for her family, her continuing involvement in the Beachville Baptist Church, where she is organist, and her work with young people. We add Perleen Oliver to our distinguished list of honorary degree recipients, not only because her life reflects the recognition that education is a key to full personhood for women. She has, in fact, made history throughout her remarkable career. We hope, therefore, that her guiding spirit will join our graduates as they embark on the next phase of their lives and remain with us in our classrooms as a reminder of our commitment to full educational opportunities for all people. I ask you, Madam Chancellor, in the name of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, to confer on Perleen Oliver the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
On behalf of the Senate of Mount St. Vincent University, I admit you, Perleen Oliver, to the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto.
I'll speak now, will I?
Yes, ma'am.
Right now? Yes. Madam Chancellor, Madam President, dignitaries, graduates, students, and friends, I consider it, really consider it, a very great honor and a pleasure to have this opportunity to address you on this graduation day. And I would also like to express my great appreciation to the members of the Senate and the other officials of Mount St. Vincent University for the honors that are being bestowed today. Now, I've been invited to give the message, and I can assure you it's not going to be a long one. It's going to be a nice short message. I usually speak long, but I wouldn't dare do that today. And I have chosen as my topic the simple word, reflections. Now, I've chosen that because I have been noticing how popular this particular word is becoming as we approach the nearing of the ending of the 20th century. And I've attended about 3 or 4 public conferences, some in which I participated, and each one had this word, reflections. And I began to think, I'd better find out just what's going on, that everybody is into reflections now as we near the ending of this 20th century. And I began to go into the literature. I have quite a supply of my husband's literature of the 19th century. And I began to go into this to find out just if at the ending of the 19th century was this word reflections used as much as it is being used today. as we look back and reflect on all the great things and all the good things and all the bad things that have happened to us. Now, I came across the writing of Samuel Taylor Coleridge, and he wrote an essay entitled Aids to Reflection. This was in the 19th century. And I thought, well, surely I'm going to find out something here that I can hang my thoughts on. And I did. Not very far into the essay, this is what he said in the 19th century. In order to profit by what we have learned, we must think. He only thinks who reflects. The 19th century. So this being the 20th century, I'll add, she only thinks who reflects. Now, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend a few moments just reflecting and meditating perhaps and presenting to you some of the things that make me tick and some of the things that I've been involved in over my long life. And when I think of that, I was speaking to my one of my sons about it the other day, trying to find out if he thought that I could really give an address to such a class as this and whatnot. And I said to him, you know, Leslie, I have lived in every decade of this century with the exception of the first decade. And he looked at me and he said, gosh, that's right. And then I said to him, with so many people living longer today, we have a greater number of people, some of them who have lived in every decade of this century. So they have a lot of reflecting to do, because the older we are, the more we can reflect and look back. And I can think back to the, well, I was born in the second decade, but I certainly can remember just about everything of the third decade of this century. Now, for the students, and I'm sure I don't have to tell you this, but I'm just reflecting, this 20th century, when you begin to think about it, it began with the horse and buggy. Now, there were some trains and whatnot here and there, but it was mostly the horse and buggy at the beginning of the century. And then, after the first and second decade, we know the Model T Ford. The Ford came in, run by steam. It was called the horseless carriage, and I'm sure you all know that from your history. But then, of course, it boomed, and we know that by the middle of the century, the cars were everywhere, and that was our mode of travel. But we mustn't forget that we began with the horse and the buggy, or the ox and the oxen cart, because there are people who live in the vicinity of Halifax every week who went to market with just the ox and the ox cart. So that was at the beginning of the century, but now, of course, they have the wonderful cars and other machinery. But it's ending with the exploration of outer space. You see, when you begin to reflect, you can say, gee, we've come a long way. We started back there, but now it's the exploration of outer space, and how we don't know the half of what's going on up there. We can only surmise it. And interplanetary travel. And we can just imagine, if we reflect ahead, what it's going to be like for the young people and the yet unborn who are going to be living in the 21st century. I can recall in mid-century 1953 May, I had a class of girls working with them in the church and trying to get them interested in everything. And I can recall when it was announced in 1953 that the highest peak on earth had been finally conquered. Mankind had reached Mount Everest. And I can remember that because of the interest of the girls, the CGIT girls that I was leading at that time. And we made a scrapbook. And we found out that Mount Everest was approximately 30,000 feet, and that 8 or 9 explorers had tried to reach it prior to this being reached in 1953. And we thought that was a great thing, the highest peak on Earth. Man wanted to get to it, and he got to it in 1953. But then, this was followed in less than 10 years by seeing the American astronauts, or one anyway, walking on the moon. So we had gone from the highest peak in 1953 to the early 60s when mankind was on the moon. So you can see the progress has been great, and it sort of creeps up on you. And you can imagine, I wish that I could be living in the next century. Perhaps there is some form of life that we have that we will know what's going on. But at least we know what we're passing on to the young people today, and that the next 21st century is going to be really lovely. Now, in this spirit of reflection, and that's what I'm trying to keep to, I thought that I would pick a decade that was very meaningful to me, because I want my message to be personal. You've given me this wonderful honorary degree, which I love very much and honor very much. And I want my remarks to be as down to earth and as personable as possible. Now, I want to tell you about the decade of the 30s. And why would I pick that? Well, none of you, I don't think you look so young. You weren't even born then. So some of these things, of course, would be new to you unless your parents or your grandparents had told you about them. So because of the struggle that students are having today, and the reason I'm picking the decade of the 30s is because each time I turn on my radio, I hear that unemployment is the #1 problem facing the students today, or facing anybody for that matter, but particularly we think of our students. And that the #1 problem today is unemployment. And not only that, but some of the people who are speaking go on to say, and I find this very sad, they say it's not solvable in the near future. So that doesn't give too much hope, does it? When they say it's not solvable in the near future, but maybe after the election tomorrow, we'll see a difference. Now, what I want to state, and I told you I wasn't going to speak long because I really don't want to bore you with this, but I want to say something about my own personal struggle. And you might say, a struggle for grade 12? Gee, that's nothing today, you know, you get your masters and your doctorates, and they seem to come so simple. But back in the 1930s, it was the Great Depression. You only have a recession now. But I was coming of age, I was 13 when I entered the 1930s, not even realizing what a depression was. And prior to that, there was always a little bit of money for this or a little bit of money for that. But when I entered the 30s from my mother, but when I entered the 30s, I found out that there was something very bad going on in the world. There was a worldwide depression. Now, not only that, but the majority of my contemporaries, the children of color, and you'll notice I'm not using black children anymore, we say children of color, people of color, we're always changing. We'll get it right one of these days. So I'm hoping we'll get it right before the ending of this 20th century. So we are people of color. Now, I have noticed that many of the children that I graduated in grade 8 with, all my contemporaries, and as I began to think about this, it was very sad for me because they were all dead. Evidently, they didn't quite make it into their 70s like I have. And most of the children that I went to school with and graduated in grade 8 are dead, gone. And I began to reflect. See, this is on reflection. So I began to think about that, and I didn't feel too good about it. But I went to my mother, And I said to her, now everyone stop, the children of color, grade 8 was their boundary. And up to that time, in the area where I lived, in the eastern part of Nova Scotia, no child of color had gone into grade 11 or graduated from grade 12. It just wasn't done, and there hadn't been anyone to attempt it until I came along. So when in grade 8, after we passed, got through grade 8, I said to my mother first, I want to continue on and get grade 12. And she said to me, you know, things are very bad, words to this effect. There's a big depression on, there's no money. We were just on relief at that time, plus our gardens to feed us, and that was it. And she said, and in those days, you had to buy every book. There was nothing free. Gee, today you get so many wonderful goodies. You get your books free in the high school, and in schools we didn't. You had to buy everything. So it meant that if I was going to go on and try to get high school, I'd have to buy my books, and then I'd have to go to another part of the town in which I lived in because we were segregated. And that meant if I went to that other part of the town, I would be mingling with the professional people's children, as my mother explained it to me very gently, and the children of the more affluent people of the town. And she said to me, you know, you'd have to have better clothes, I'd have to buy you. And she went on, skirts, you can't go over there, you know, with little homemade dresses on or whatever. And so she said to me, don't get your mind set. You can't go. I don't have the money to send you. And you really needed money because you had to buy everything. And I guess there must have been a stubbornness born into me from the very beginning. And that's why I'm so old today and still ticking on. And I said to my mother, well, I just have to go. I just felt that, and I was the very first child of color to go and get my grade 11 and get my grade 12. I said, I just have to go. Well, she said, there's no money to buy the books and there's no money to buy your clothes. So I just looked at her and I said, well, I'll have to go out and work and get the money to buy my books and buy my clothes. But there was no work or nothing like that. To make a long story short, I had a lot of friends, a lot of people that I knew, and I went to them. People who had sickness in their family, young mothers who had children, and they wanted to go out and do days work or to get $1 to live, and they needed somebody to mind their children. Then there were other little children that I knew who were not making it in school. They weren't even getting through grade 3 and grade 4. And I thought, well, gee, I have my grade 8, I can tutor. So I put all these jobs down that I could do, and remember, by that time I was barely 14, and you were really 14 back there. You weren't 14 and your own boss like you are today. You were really a child, you know. So I put it all together, and then I went out, and this is a true story. And I went to everyone that I knew where there was sickness in the family, and I offered to scrub their floors, I offered to clean their windows, or do any work. I offered to set up with the sick. I went where there were single women with children who needed somebody. There were no daycares in those days either, who needed somebody to mind their children for 5 or 6 hours. I offered to do that for 25 or 50 cents or whatever they could afford. And then there were always the berries to be picked. And I knew that there were just oodles of blueberries and oodles of raspberries, and I'd pick them all and sell them. And do you know, that is how I got my money to get into high school. I had to scrub floors. I'd get 25 cents, 35 cents. I'm proud of this. That's why I'm talking about, that's why I'm talking about it. I had to I don't think you'd find too many 14-year-old girls today who would say, I'll scrub floors. They have other things that they think they might do. But I scrubbed the floors, I cleaned the windows, I sat up with the sick, I tended the babies when the mothers went out to do housework, and did everything that I possibly could, and sold berries. And by the end of the end of the season, early September, I had always enough money to buy secondhand. They had to be secondhand books. Not enough money to buy new books, secondhand books. And then I scouted around, had to do this all by myself because no one else thought that it was worthwhile for me to do it. When no one else had gone through, and there was not another one who had gotten grade 12 up to that time, you can imagine what racial prejudice had done to those children, or to all of us. Someone had to break it. And I'm so glad that through the teaching of a missionary that was sent to me right at the right time, I was able to do that. And she was able to get the good clothes for me from her friends so that I could be dressed to go to high school. And when I graduated, and then we had to write provincials. You get off so easy today. I think the young people today get off just too easy. But in those days, you thought that if you wrote your high school exams, the teachers all knew you, and they were all giving you a little break here, a little break there, and you'd get through. But in those days, you had to write the provincials, and they were set for all high school students throughout Nova Scotia, and they were set by teachers all over Nova Scotia, so you didn't know whether the questions they were going to put there would be questions that your teacher had really, gone thoroughly through. So there were a lot of barriers, and you might say, gee, just to get grade 12, and you had to go through all that? Yes, and I'm so glad, because you know what happened? When I finally got my grade 12, who should I meet but this wonderful young man who was coming from Acadia University with 2 degrees. And he was looking for, he was a young clergyman, he wasn't ordained then, and he was around working in the different churches, but as he told me later, he is now deceased, that was William Oliver, and he often told me that he went into all the churches, and he was looking for the right girl. And so, so when he came to my particular church, where I was so busy doing this, that, and the other thing, and he knew, too, that I had my grade 12 and that I had worked for it, he thought, that's the girl I want. And so we fell in love, and we were married and spent 53 wonderful years together. Now, I'm reflecting, and I'm telling you what it was like back there in what they called it, the dirty 30s. And they were really dirty. They were dirty in many ways. They were dirty because of the racial discrimination. I always used to say to my children, I had 3 strikes against me. I was born a girl, and that was a strike against you because you weren't going anywhere if you were a girl. So I was born a girl, I was born poor, and I was, what would the third be? It's just gone from me now. But no, the racial discrimination, that's it. I didn't want to think about it because it's really gone too. Discrimination, and the discrimination was very, very severe. It wasn't like it is today. When I hear young people today talking about discrimination, I laugh on the inside. I don't laugh to their face. But I try to tell them that what we have today is you just get out there and you work and you show that you can do it and that you can be the best that you can possibly be. And there's all kinds of chances. And I proved it with my own children, all of whom have gone through university and have 2 and 1 with 3 degrees. Now, I think I've said enough. So I'm going to go back. I have lots more, but I'm sure you don't want I'm sure you don't want to hear it. But I think I'll go back. Students, and I'm particularly addressing the students. I'm sorry, I should have turned around to the parents. But I'm particularly addressing you, and you all look so beautiful, and we're all so proud of you. But don't forget, and never look down on the older people who say, well, I only have my grade 12, because those grade 12s were really good. You knew your Latin. You knew your Latin. And the teachers were very, very strict, and they were very, very good. You knew your Latin, and you knew your algebra, and you knew all that when you left grade 12. So I thank the teachers for that, even though I had to put up with a lot of discrimination. Now, I'm going to end. Oh, I know you're happy. I'm going to end again with the words of Samuel Taylor Coleridge. He gave me my theme. In order to profit by what you have learned, you must think. He only thinks who reflects. She only thinks who reflects.
Madam Chancellor, on behalf of the graduating class of fall 1993, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Oliver for being one of our honorary degree recipients and for sharing her wisdom with us today. Dr. Oliver has made a lot of achievements. If I was to enumerate them all, I'll take the whole day. But I've chosen to thank her for just a few. Dr. Oliver, for your spirit of voluntarism, we thank you. For your daily commitment to the cause of humankind, we thank you. For showing us what we can accomplish, we thank you. For your guiding spirit and inspiration, we thank you. I'd also like to thank Doreen Lewis. Time did not allow her to share her wisdom with us, but that does not mean we less recognize her. Madam, for your sense of commitment, we thank you. For your terrific sense of humor, we thank you. For paving the way for women and politics, we thank you. Now, for both of our honorary degree recipients, we wish you the best of luck. Keep on leading us. Keep on with the struggle. We are behind you. We will definitely follow your footprints. Thank you.
We invite all of you now to a reception in the multipurpose room in Rosaria, immediately following the convocation. I now declare the convocation closed. Thank you.